Welcome everyone. My name's Chue Hong, and the director of the Software Sustainability Institute, which is running this workshop. What I'm going to be doing is giving a little introduction to what the Software Sustainability Institute does, because as we're running the workshop, I get to put in a little ad for what we do. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about the reasons why we put this workshop on and what we're expecting you to do in the workshop. So I will describe the slightly unusual format of the collaborations workshop. One thing I will say is just to reinforce what Simon said. This is a flexible workshop, so the idea is that the only things that schedule are the really important things: coffee, lunch, and dinner. The bits in between the coffee, lunch, and dinner can change and will change. And so what we're asking you to do is decide what direction different discussions take. We're also going to be running a few other things which we've not done in previous workshops, and I'll explain a little bit more about those. But really what we're trying to get an understanding of is you guys are representative of different aspects of the community that works in that intersection between software and research. And we're trying to find out what are the interesting experiences, what are the pain points that you've learned. And so through the course of this workshop, we're going to try and get people to record small snippets of this through things such as reporting back through the breakout sessions, through the lightning talks that people have suggested, and through something called the ideas room. But as I said, I'll explain a little bit about that later. So,
okay with that? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other thing I should say, for anyone who's ever presented here before, the area display technology has multiplied about 7-fold now, and I have no idea which of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens I'm supposed to be looking at when I'm doing this. Anyway, what I wanted to do very quickly is say a little bit about the Software Sustainability Institute. So the Software Sustainability Institute is funded by EPSRC to look at how we can provide better software for researchers. And if you look at the kind of idea of what it means to be sustainable or to do sustainability, it's about maintaining. And so it's about understanding how things can be kept going. So there's this way of kind of balancing off both innovating with making things available long term. And that's really what we're set up to do. So what we're trying to do is understand how we can build better software, because we believe that better software enables better research. The other thing that we believe is that as you move on through the software development cycle, you hit different boundaries. So it might be a boundary when a PhD code gets picked up and used by other people in a group, or when you start collaborating with external organizations, or when you choose to try and make software available commercially or so on. So it reaches these boundary stages that prevent the improvement, the growth and adoption of the software. And what we're trying to do is provide expertise and services that might be needed to get from one stage to the next. And there's many different things, and you can see examples of these on our website. So one in particular that I was going to talk about that's just completed is work, for instance, in the area of climate policy modelling. So an example of some of the work that we do at the Institute is working with teams such as the Community Integrated Assessment team at the Tyndall Centre for Climate Change. They produce a piece of software which is used by several people to look at how you plan policy that's related to climate change. So it ties together both climate models, Earth system models, and economic models, and runs these through this framework to allow decisions to be made by people like planners. And really, where they had reached was a stage where their system was in use by a particular group of users and was being supported by one researcher developer, but there's a potential here for it to be used by 2 other sets of users. One is a new set of planners who wanted to add new models into the system, and the second is a group of people who wanted to build more public-facing portals that sat on top of this system. And so these are people like the Worldwide Fund for Nature. So in this case, what we did was work together to provide some programming expertise to help install a better batch queuing system to allow them to process more model runs for their framework, and also work to document the framework so it became easier to maintain, so that other people could add to the framework, add new models, and hopefully carry on the maintenance in the future. So this is all about collaboration. It's all about understanding how we pass knowledge between different groups in the community so that each of the groups comes out better in the end. So in this case, understanding how we can pass on information about how to do better batch scheduling, how to design better databases, and importantly, how to maintain the software more efficiently going forward. Because the thing that the SSI is trying to do is transfer knowledge. It's not trying to take over software. So it's all about understanding collaboration. And importantly, this is one of the things which came up as an interesting topic in last year's collaboration workshop. So what we can see here is an example of something where we've seen a spark of an idea come out and then taken it forward. And I'm hoping that's what's going to be happening today as well. So that's the brief ad about the Software Sustainability Institute over. If you want to find out more, go to the website, come and talk to myself or one of my colleagues through the workshop. What I really want to talk about in the last 5 minutes I've got now is really why we're trying to do this. So what we're trying to do is force you all to collaborate. No, we're not really. We're trying to provide an environment which allows you all to talk to each other, to understand what everyone else in this room does. I can imagine that a lot of you already know some of the other people in the room, but there are probably people you've never met before. So what do these people do? Is there anything that's of interest that they do to you, and vice versa, and so on? Because with collaboration, what we're trying to do is set up this recursive process whereby people talk to each other and you try and find this intersection of their goals. So where is it that your work and their work meet? The flip side, of course, is that many people see collaboration as being a way of making sure that they can gain benefit by suspending their own particular barriers, issues, and so on. And I do encourage you to do that. I do think that you should suspend your mutual hatred for each other. I'm sure you're not really like that. But it is something that we have to be aware of, is that it can be a difficult balancing act in a workshop like this between working with other people and feeling that you're sharing your private secrets. So be aware of this and make sure that you're getting something out of it for yourself. But lastly, I think the big thing about the Collaborations Workshop that's been shown from the previous ones that we've run is that it enables you to create partnerships. So as I said, it might make you find the person you've always been looking for. It might find the set of skills that you've lacked in your team that can be provided by someone else. And ultimately, it should help you do better research, produce better software. So that's the whole collaboration idea. The way that we do it in the Collaborations Workshop is essentially through 4 different strands. Now, up at the top, you'll see we have lightning talks, and these we're going to be going through these in the next part of the morning. And these are really for different people. Thank you to everyone who's suggested a lightning talk. You're going to see basically a whole range of ideas, opinions, experiences, questions put to you. And the idea there is to try and provoke a little bit of discussion, illustrate points, and get people talking. In the afternoon, we're going to start on the breakout sessions, where the breakout sessions are really the dynamic part of the workshop. We have a list of topics, again suggested by attendees of the workshop. And what we will do is we'll dynamically schedule them into the program, assign people to groups, and the aim is really to have a discussion, but more importantly, to agree some conclusions from them. So if you're having a discussion, for instance, on what types of pastry should we have in the morning, we'd really like you to come up with a conclusion as to whether muffins or danishes are the best way to go. And also what the barriers are. Maybe muffins are incredibly expensive, so what we need to do is understand how we can fund better muffins.